kapale shatajasavam yaksha, the yakshas, the descendants of Kuber, Rakshamshi, the Rakshasas, meat eaters, Hudani, ghost, Pisacha, witches, Pishita Asanaha, who are all habituated to eating flesh, Bhutesha, Lord Shiva's incarnation Rudra, Vatsaha, whose calf, Duduhu, milked out, Kapale, in a pot of skulls, Kshataja, blood, Ashavam, a fermented beverage. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Then the yakshas, rakshasas, ghosts, and witches who are habituated to eating flesh transformed Lord Shiva's incarnation, Rudra, Bhutanath, into a calf and milked out beverages made of blood and put them in a pot made of skulls. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There are some types of living entities in the form of human beings whose living conditions and eatables are most abominable. Generally, they eat flesh and fermented blood, which is mentioned in this verse as Shatajasavam. The leaders of such degraded men, known as yakshas, rakshasas, bhutas, and pisachas, are all in the mode of ignorance. They have been placed under the control of Rudra. Rudra is the incarnation of Lord Shiva, and is in charge of the mode of ignorance in material nature. Another name of Lord Shiva is Bhutanath, meaning master of ghosts. Rudra was born from between Brahma's eyes when Brahma was very angry at the four Kumaras. Om Agyanti Mirandasya Gyananjan Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Hey Krishna Karna Sindhu Din Bandhu Jagat Pate Vesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishvanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakti Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Srinivadi Paschatya Deshatarine. So then the yakshas, rakshasas, ghosts, and witches who are habituated to eating flesh transform Lord Shiva's non-ekadashi. Transform Lord Shiva's incarnation Rudra Bhutanath into a calf and milked out beverages made of blood and put them in a pot made of skulls. So you see, everyone is getting this actually proves a point that Krishna is impartial to everyone. Krishna says this in 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that Name Dveshta Se Na Priyaha. No one is dear to me, and I'm no one's enemy. I'm impartial to everyone, right? So this proves the point that Krishna's energy, Earth, Mother Earth, is actually supplying everyone. These rakshasas, yakshas, ghosts, and witches are actually habituated to eating all this, and Lord Shiva's incarnation as Rudra is in charge of them, and they want to eat this. Mother Earth supplies this, in the hope that one day they will come to Krishna consciousness. Okay, so let's go to our table. Over here, I have a question which I actually don't know the answer. So Nala Kuvera and Manigriva were sons of who? Who was the father of Nala Kuvera and Manigriva?
Kubera.
Kuber is who? Who is Kuber?
Demigods.
Lord of demigods and Rakshasas.
Who is Kuber? I'm sorry, I'm not.
Is a Lord of
Devara's brother, God of riches and the friend of
Lord Shiva.
Lord
It is
Shiva.
yakshas.
Pure devotee.
Is one of the yakshas.
Is
Says here,
Yes,
yakshas.
yes.
Lord of yakshas.
Okay, so Kuber is one of the yakshas, right? And everyone who's where did we read the descendants of Kuber? Yakshas, Rakshas,
When Dhruv Maharaj was fighting with the yakshas.
See, Yaksha, the descendant of Kuberas. right? Yaksha, the Prabhupada is translating the word Yaksha as descendant of Kuber. Okay, so that means Nalakuber and Manigriv were also the descendants of Kuber, that means they were Yakshas. And over here, Srila Prabhupada is writing in the purport. This is my question. I don't know the answer, so don't ask me the answer. The leader of such degraded men, known as Yakshas, Rakshasas, Bhutas, and Pisachas, are all in the mode of ignorance. Okay, so that means that everybody is in the mode of ignorance. So the Nalakuber and Manigriv were doing activities in the mode of ignorance, basically. Right? There was no knowledge behind those activities. So, and they were doing it on the planet of Lord Shiva, which is Kailash. So basically, then this is all fitting in, right? This is all, I don't know, isn't it? It's fitting in that Lord Shiva is the master in charge of mode of ignorance in material nature, and Yakshas are in the mode of ignorance. So Nalakuber and Manigri were also in the mode of ignorance. So they were basically not so exalted demigods. I don't know. Anybody has any?
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Unknowingly, he
Yaksha and
gives.
Lord Shiva are different. Yaksha's daughter Parvati, Sati married to Lord Krishna, Lord Shiva, and then she was not invited to a yajna.
Sati was the daughter of Daksha, not
Yes,
Yaksha.
Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Daksha.
Brahma has two sons, Lord Shiva and Daksha. So Sati was the daughter of Daksha, not Yaksha.
Shiva gives all benedictions to people and he will be in trouble. Then Krishna will save Shiva Mataji.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Saxena, you want to say something?
Yes, Mati. In fact, regarding three modes, Vishnu is in the mode of goodness, Brahma is in the mode of passion, and
No. Vishnu is in charge of mode of goodness. He's not in mode of goodness. He's transcendental. Brahma is in charge of passion.
Yeah, and similarly, the Shiv is in the mode of ignorance.
Lord Shiva is in charge of mode of ignorance.
In charge, yeah. This is what I mean, actually. Not in, but I mean, this is what I read.
You see here, Prabhupada is writing. Is in
Mataji,
charge.
actually, Vishnu is in charge.
Can he finish his sentence, please? Can he finish his sentence, please? Go ahead, Dr. Saxena.
Yeah, in fact, they are in charge. This is what I meant to say, that they are in charge of the three material modes of nature. And Shiv is in charge of, so that is why he controls all these demons and Bhut, Pishach and all those.
Okay. Thank you. Somebody was saying something. I don't know who was saying it.
Mataji, actually, Vishnu is in charge of mode of passion. He's the maintainer. Brahma is the creator, so he's in the mode of goodness.
No. Vishnu is in charge of mode of goodness. Brahma is in charge of mode of passion. And Lord Shiva is in charge of mode of ignorance.
Yes.
You see, goodness, what does Brahma do?
Brahma creates. Secondary creator.
Secondary creator. He is not a primary creator. He is given knowledge in the heart by Krishna to create. What does Vishnu do?
Vishnu maintains.
What does Vishnu do?
Maintains.
What does Lord Shiva do?
Destruction.
Now, tell me from the experience in your life, out of creating, maintaining, and destroying, which is the hardest job?
Maintenance is hardest,
Maintenance is the hardest job. So
Krishna will take the hardest job on him.
So he's in charge of the mode of passion.
No, he's in mode of goodness.
Lord Vishnu, don't get confused, please. Go back and please refer to the Shastras. Lord Vishnu is in charge of the mode of goodness. Okay, let's start our revision. Who was the first? Ayushi Mataji, you want to say something? You have your hand raised.
No, Mataji.
Okay, tell me please, who was the first milkman and what was the calf, what was the pot, and what was milked out?
Prithu Maharaj was the milkman. Then he had Swayambhuva Manu as the calf. Then pot was his cupped hands, and he He milked herbs and grains.
Grains.
Thank you very
And
much.
then
Okay, I'm sorry, Mataji. I'm going to make it as a quiz because I feel I hear the same voice every day for the answers. I don't know who's answering, but the voice is the same. Yes, who is the second milkman? Yes, whoever who wants to answer. If nobody will answer, I'll go to the next 10th canto. Who is the second milkman? First is Ritu Maharaj. Who is the second one? Nobody. Yes, Dr. Parekh.
All the great sages who they are the people. The Brahma Brahaspati is a calf. The senses are the pot, and all the Vedic knowledge is the milk that they get from the cow.
Very nice. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, who is the third one? Okay, I think you don't want to raise your hands. Who is the third one?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes.
The demigods were the milkmen.
Demigods were the calf or milkmen? Demigods are
Milkmen.
calf or
Milkmen,
and
Mataji.
who is the calf? Who is the
Milkmen,
calf?
Mataji. Milkmen. Calf was
Yes.
Indra
Calf
was
was
the
the
and the
calf.
pot was
Indra.
golden
Okay.
pot. And
Then
it
the mind
says
is
somrasa. It says somrasa.
Very nice. Okay, then next after Indra, after demigods,
Prahlad Maharaj was the
Prahlad Maharaj.
was the calf. Who was the milkman?
demons.
Vishnu.
demons were the
Daityas, asuras, demons. Okay. What
and the
was
liquor
used as
was
a
Iron pot.
Iron pot.
iron pot.
what did they milk?
Beer and wine.
Wine.
Liquor.
Liquors and
Wine.
beer.
Yeah, very
Gandharva.
nice. Then after that,
Then Gandharvas and
Gandharvas and
Gandharvas and
Apsaras.
Apsaras.
there was
Gandharvas
an
They are
apsara.
the
What was
calf.
what was a calf?
Calf. They are the
Vishwavasu.
calf. Vishwas.
Vishwavasu.
Vishwavasu. What was used as a milking pot?
Lotus
Lotus
pot.
flower.
Very nice. Lotus flower. Okay, what was milked out?
Sweet art and
Sriram-
musical
art and
Madhura, Sangeet. Okay.
Okay, who is next?
Music.
After
Pitruloka.
Presiding over the funeral.
Arma is the calf.
Aryama is the calf.
Aryama.
Kavya is milk.
Kavya was the
Earthen
prasad.
Earthen pot.
Unbaked earthen pot. Unbaked earthen pot was used as a pot.
Unbaked earthen pot.
What was milked?
Kavya.
Kavya was
Kavya.
Okay, after that,
Siddhaloka Mataji.
Inhabitants of Vidyadhara and
doesn't Vidyadhara, very nice. And what was the calf?
Kapila Muni.
Kapila.
Very nice. And what was what was
Pot
used
was
as a
whole sky.
Whole
sky is the pot.
what was milked? What was milked?
mystic
Yogic
power.
Mystic powers. Yogic powers.
Siddhas milked the Siddhis and Vidyadharas milked the art of flying. Okay. Then yesterday we read what was the calf?
Kimpursa.
Maya.
Kimpa Purusha
Loka.
Maya was the calf. What was
Maya
the
was the
milkman? Who was the milkman?
Maya.
Maya.
Maya is the
Maya.
calf
Maya
and
was.
milking
Maya
the
was the
mystic
calf.
power.
Kimpa Purusha Loka.
Kimpa Purushas. Okay. And what was used as a what was milk?
They
We don't
The
have a
milk
pot
was
here.
they can make any form of body.
The mystic powers.
Disappearance and appearance.
Mystic
of
power.
the
The power of dissipating at will. This is called Ishita. Remember?
Shita, yes.
Okay. Then what is today? Verse number 21.
Yakshas, Rakshas, milkman.
Witches.
Shastri Sachas are the milkmen. Who was used as a calf?
They are
Both
the-
Shudra.
Shiva. Rudra.
Rudra. And what was milked?
Kal is
Blood.
Beverage is made of blood.
What was used as a pot?
Skull.
Kal.
Yes. Very nice. Any questions, reflections, realizations? Will I open this? Anybody? Okay, so we'll go to 10th canto quickly. 10th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th chapter, verse number 23. Shri Shuka Uvacha Evam yukta sa devrishi tato narayanashramam nalakuvera manigriva asutur yamalarjuna. Yeah. Yamala Arjuna means twin Arjuna trees. Somebody was asking what is Yamala means. Yamala means twin. Okay, translation. Sukdev Goswami continued. Having thus spoken, the great saint Devrishi Narad returned to his ashram known as Narayan Ashram, and Nalakuver and Manigriv became twin Arjun trees. Purport. Arjun trees are still found in many forests, and their skin is used by cardiologists to prepare medicine for heart trouble. This means that even though they are trees, they are disturbed when skinned for medical science. Okay, I will read one more verse. Verse 24. Risher Bhagavata mukhayasya satyam kartum vacho hari jagama shanake satra yatrashtam yamalarjuno. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, to fulfill the truthfulness of the words of greatest devotee Narad, slowly went to that spot where the twin Arjuns were standing. Okay. Devrashi me priyatmano yad imau dhanatmajau tat tatha siddhya yashyami yad gitam tanmahatmana. Translation. Although these two young men are the sons of the very rich Kuber and I have nothing to do with them, Devrishi Narad is my very dear and affectionate devotee. Therefore, because he wanted me to come face to face with them, I must do so for their deliverance. Purport. Nalakuber and Manigriv actually had nothing to do with devotional service or seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face. For this is not an ordinary opportunity. It is not that because one is very rich or learned or was born in an aristocratic family, one will be able to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face. This is impossible. But in this case, because Narad Muni desired that Nalakuber and Manigriv see Vasudev face to face, the Supreme Personality of Godhead wanted to fulfill the words of his very dear devotee Narad Muni. If one seeks the favor of a devotee, instead of directly asking favors from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one is very easily recommended. Like a dog in strictly following a devotee. Krishna is in the hand of a devotee. Adurlabham Atma Bhaktau. Thus, without the favor of a devotee, one cannot directly approach Krishna. What to speaking of engaging in his service? Narottama Das Thakur therefore sings, Chadiya Vaishnava Seva Nishitara Payeche Keba. Unless one becomes servant of a pure devotee, one cannot be delivered from the material condition of life. In our Gaudiya Vaishnava society, following in the footsteps of Rupa Goswami, our first business is to seek shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, Ado Guru Ashrayaha. So nice. So after Narad Muni cursed Nalakuber and Manigriv, he went to Narayan Ashram, a Badrik Ashram. So there is a little bit of a commentary if you read or hear other sannyasis giving lecture on this, that what made Narad Muni go there, because he had to regain the piety. When we curse someone, we lose a part of our piety. So to regain that, he went there. And after he went there, immediately Nalakuber and Manigriv took birth as twin Arjun trees. And Krishna knew all that. You know, coming back to the original scene, when Mother Yashoda had tied him to a wooden grinding motor in the backyard, and she had gone to attend other duties, Krishna looked at those Yamala Arjuna trees and he could think of all these things that we just read. He knew everything, right? And then he says, Krishna thought within himself that I have nothing to do with these two people, Nalakuber and Manigriv. I have nothing to do with them. But here in the Sanskrit, it is written, Devrashi me priyatmano. Devrashi me priyatmo. Okay, Devrashi me priyatmo means Devrashi Narad is very dear to me. He's my beloved devotee. So because he has said it, I will fulfill it. That is why devotional service to Krishna is What are the six? Well, I will not ask the six things that happen in devotional service, but one of the qualities of devotional service, which is mentioned in chapter 2 of Nectar of Devotion, is Sudurlabha. What is the meaning of the word Sudurlabha? What is the meaning of the word Sudurlabha? What does
Not
it mean?
Getting is impossible.
Difficult to attain.
Getting is
Not easy
impossible.
to attain.
Difficult to attain.
Very
Difficult to
difficult to get.
Very difficult.
Very difficult. Yeah, nice, very nice. So Durlabha means difficult. Sudurlabha means very difficult. So there is the word Su in front. So basically, Krishna does not give devotional service to anybody, because if he gives that, then he can give liberation. That's not a problem for him at all. He can give relief from suffering in the material world. He can, give relief to a devotee, but he will not give a pure devotional service, because what happens? What makes Krishna not to give pure devotional service? What happens if he gives it?
Because he becomes servant of the devotee.
Very
Yeah.
nice. So he becomes purchased.
Krishna Akarshani. Yeah.
Very nice. So Krishna Karshani. So because pure devotional service attracts Krishna, so even Krishna becomes attracted to that devotee who is serving him with pure devotional service, but he doesn't award it directly. But his pure devotee can award it. You see, that is our process in attaining Krishna consciousness. We cannot directly go to Krishna and say, Krishna, give me devotional service. We can say, that's fine, that's not wrong. But the process is one has to go through disciplic succession. One has to follow. That is why follow the acharyas. That is why we are also called as, in ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada said we are called as Rupanugas. What is Rupanuga? What does Rupanuga mean? Yes, what does Rupanuga mean?
Followers.
Followers of Rupa.
Follower of Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. Very nice. Thank you. So followers of Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, or servant of the servant. So if we have to go and even start the journey in this particular life, the very first business is to have a shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. To chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one does not need initiation. Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is independent of all these things. To chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, okay, one can chant, but to understand the intricacies of chanting, to understand the process of devotional service, to solidify one's chanting in this material body, in this lifespan, one needs the guidance. And Krishna likes it. We have a proof here. He's saying, I have nothing to do with them. But because the Narad Muni has said it, because he wanted me to come face to face, I must do so for their deliverance. Just because Narad Muni gave this kind of benediction to Nalaku and Manigriv, now Krishna was obliged to follow that order. Okay, so that's why if we can, Bhakti Vinod Thakur Prabhupada is a very famous song that if he sings that, O Vaishnava Thakur, Tumara Kukur. So I am your dog. Kukur means dog. So Vaishnava Thakur, I am your dog. Bhuliya Jana Hamore. I have forgotten the loving hand of Krishna. Krishna se Tomar, Krishna dite par. Krishna is yours and you can give Krishna to someone else. So if our acharyas are following that, then we can waste our time. We have a free will. That's fine. If somebody wants to waste their time and do do not follow this process and do something else, that's fine. But an intelligent person will take it. Will take it and go forward in devotional service by serving the other Vaishnavas. And by serving the other Vaishnavas, we also get attachment to devotional service. If you ask anybody now, I can ask if somebody like to share how they came to Krishna consciousness. I'm sure everybody have one thing in common, that they were brought to Krishna consciousness by some devotee, right? Through some devotee. They could be different scenarios, different logistics, but one thing will be common, that we are brought to Krishna consciousness by some devotee. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Somebody.
Shiksha Guru.
Yes,
Shiksha.
Mataji.
Somewhere.
The
Or
first step
Patipradakshal
is
Guru.
Shiksha Guru.
Somebody
Shiksha Guru
showed
is
the
the
way.
first.
So let's say Shiksha Guru is a little bit higher category. But Patipradakshal Guru, let's say this Gita classes, somebody just send you the message, but they didn't attend the class, but they send you the message. So they have to be respected too. They're called Patipradakshal Guru. They showed the
Yes,
path.
Mataji.
Right?
Yes, Mataji.
So basically, we were brought by somebody. So because we came, do you feel, or maybe I should ask the question like this: how many of you feel? Please raise your hand. How many of you feel that your life has changed for better, or is changing for better? How many of you feel like that in the bottom of your heart? 6 people, 7, 8, 9, 10. How many of you feel like that? That it's changing for better. 22, 23. Not everybody. Yeah, we are 81 here. Definitely, I feel like that. Is okay. 31. Okay, somebody has thumbs up. So you see, the Rupa Goswami Prabhupada says in Bhakti-rasamrita Sindhu that without rasa, without any mellow, nobody can do anything. Nobody can do anything. So without mellow, so we have some kind of mellow. We are tasting some kind of mellow in Krishna conscious journey. So we are able to go ahead with each other. Okay, but if we commit offenses, then we stop getting taste, and to go back and pray and see that why am I not getting the taste in chanting? Okay, you can lower your hand. Thank you so much. I want to ask the reverse question. How many of you feel that your life has not changed a bit after coming to Krishna consciousness or by chanting Hare Krishna, or it doesn't matter whether you chant or not? It's everyone else can lower their hands, but somebody who feels that it hasn't made a big difference in their life.
I think none, Mataji.
No, I think one person is there. Would you like to share? Why do you feel like that? That it hasn't made a big impact or little impact? Okay, but at least somebody's honest. Thank you. Okay, so so the transition is that, okay, so now Krishna is going to fulfill the desire of Narad Muni. It is a mistake to think that Krishna had this duty to do. That's why he was crawling, and the ukal, or the grinding motor, was crawling behind. Krishna was crawling in front, and the grinding motor was crawling behind him. But that's not the reason why he did the whole Leela of Damodar and gave liberation to this Nalkuver and Manigriv. The main reason for liberation of Nalkuver and Manigriv was, what was the main reason? The main reason. What was the main reason?
Because Naradji has already promised that benediction to this.
He is very good devotee who wanted that.
Pure devotee. Yeah, very nice. Yes, so if we follow Prabhupada has said, if somebody, anybody, okay, follows 4 regulatory principles, chant 16 rounds, and I have the backdoor key of Golok Vrindavan, I will take you in. Srila Prabhupada has said that. Now it's up to us whether we want to enter through back door or not, or get lost for millions of lives once again. Big loss. Okay, anybody has any questions? Radhika, you have a question?
Ma'am, I have something to share, not a question, but just a confusion. So you were talking about, in particular about, the, what you call, the 2 boys, right? The Kubera's 2 sons. And Kubera ideally coming from Yavanas. I was just wondering, ma'am, is this right?
Yaksha.
Because Prahlad was also, sorry, ma'am, Yaksha. So even if you see, for that matter, Prahlad comes from a demon family. But Krishna did not hesitate him to take him back to Goloka. Likewise, even assuming that Kubera is coming from a ignorance family, he would have been good enough. I don't know how good he was, but good enough to make him a demigod, no, ma'am. That could be a possibility. And same way, he came back to liberate Bali. Of course, Bali was also a devotee, but he wanted to bring down his a bit of ego he had and take him back and give him such a great benediction. So he could have also thought that these two guys should get benediction because they are demigods' kids and they are going on the wrong path. Just as how he fixed the issue of Indra and also Brahma when they were bewildered. So these kids were bewildered. So could that be a reason? Because the birth is not a decision for him to, like Devi Varnashra. He doesn't fix anything based on the birth. So just because they are coming from the Yakshas, he may not have classified them as lower grade. He would have still given Kubera the demigod.
Kuber is a devotee. He is not in ignorance. Not Kuber. Kuber is a devotee of Krishna. Okay, but Nalakuber and Manigriv have nothing on their account to become a devotee of Krishna other than Narad Muni's causeless mercy.
That is true. I'm not talking about that half. I'm talking about the first half. That Kubera, you were asking that, there is a question and we are confused about the answer, wherein, how Kubera would be a demigod, right? I understood the question like that. How could Kubera is coming from Yavanas and he's exalted?
The descendants of Kuber, Yakshas, not Kubera. Kuber, I know, he's a devotee of Krishna. I have no doubt about that. But descendants of Kuber, which are Yakshas, how can they be demigods? So I think they're not demigods, but because they were sons of Kuber. Because Prabhupada also writes in one of the purports that demigods, where the Somaras was taken out, right? Prabhupada writes in that purport that the demigods will not touch intoxication. Somaras is not an intoxication.
Yes,
right?
Yes, ma'am. We read it. Yeah.
So
yes,
I was thinking when I was reading that verse that, but then how come Nalakuber and Manigriv drank that? So basically, I have to double check. Okay, I'll double check. This is maybe my understanding that they are not demigods because they are yakshas. Yakshas are not demigods. But Kuber is Yamaraj is a devotee. Right?
Ma'am, isn't it a default that demigods' kids are demigods? Or no, I'm not sure. I'm just asking you.
No, I don't know if Kuber is a demigod, but Kuber is a devotee.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So I don't know if he's considered as a demigod, but it doesn't matter because being higher than demigod is a devotee of Krishna.
Sure.
I'm trying to look at that verse. This is a different chapter. So Jata Mataji, you have a question?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Like my son's friend, like sometimes before I also used to feel that there's no God, like that. Then how will I convince him that there's God and to chant and all? I don't know.
How old is he?
21 years.
Mataji, so okay, so
this
I learned from senior devotees that if you have to preach to your children, then when they're young you start, but when they are adults and they have their own viewpoint about the life, it is difficult. So what do you do? Well, you give them nice prasadam, okay, and at least bring them to the SSH. Don't try to argue. I mean you can do whatever. I don't know the relationship dynamics there, but it's advised not to argue and not to force or not to impose, but give them nice prasadam and at least, there's no God, that's fine, but can you come to can you drop me to temple, can you sit with me for some time, can you talk to this Prabhu, just somehow sneak in intelligently. Okay. Everything is done with the words. There are some actions which are needed.
But how will I convince him, Mataji? Like how to
no
tell?
need to convince him. He's your son. He will come to pick you up, drop you. Yes, you go to temple.
No, not my son's friend.
Mataji, if you convince your son, then the son's friend will also get convinced somehow or other, right? So if your son's friend is not convinced, then you have to question then how much is our own child convinced. Okay. I face the same problem with my son.
Okay.
I can't hear you.
Mataji, how will we know, Mataji? Like I know, I'm also feeling like I didn't go to Tirupati. My brothers and all went. I was feeling even I want to go. So one day, like I felt they are taking darshan there, and And I was while chanting, after chanting, like I am taking darshana here, that's what I felt. So soon after 1 week, even I went to, like last 4 days, that's why I didn't attend class. I also went to Tirupati Mataji. That is why I feel God is there, like that. Somehow I feel like that. I don't
There's
know.
enough proof in front of us to validate that feeling. It doesn't have to be a feeling. It's enough proof to validate that.
Okay.
What is the difference between a dead body and a living body? You know, one of the vascular surgeon devotee I know, he was telling us how he came to Krishna consciousness. He said he had a fascinating career, and he was rich, and he was good in practice, and his wife sneaked him to one Bhakti Vriksha association in somebody's house, and there the devotee who was preaching, the Machari, he just asked one question, that you're a big doctor. What is the difference between a dead body and a living body? What is the difference?
Conscious.
Mind conscious is not there.
Soul, Mataji.
Consciousness is the symptom of what?
Soul, Mataji.
Atma.
So what is the basic difference? What is
The
the
soul
difference?
is no more in the dead body.
There is no Atma.
Atma
Dead
is not.
body doesn't have soul.
So yeah. Mataji, you have to give them prasadam. And once you give them prasadam, then they will become, the heart will become a little bit soft to come to association. And then slowly it will happen. We also did not become devotees overnight, did we? Anybody here overnight became devotee? First initiation, second initiation, 16 rounds. Yes? Anybody here? Overnight?
Slowly we
Gradual
came
process.
to this consciousness.
So one devotee has done a study that how many times Srila Prabhupada said in Bhagavad Gita that Krishna consciousness is a gradual process. I don't know how many times he has done this study. One child in Mayapur has done this, that how many times has Srila Prabhupada said Krishna consciousness is a gradual process. You have to
Gradual.
Yes, Mataji, it's
And
a gradual. It's a
Generally, the mother
gradual
is taken
process.
for granted unless and until the child is born into a devotee family and is seeing the association and has done some devotional service from the very childhood. Generally, the mother or father are taken for granted, generally. So you have to give prasadam. I'm again telling you prasadam. I used to go to temple. Okay, I liked the philosophy, but there was so nice prasadam.
Okay.
Mataji, there are two English sayings. Number one is faith has no logic. So rather than going on logic, go on faith. Develop the faith. And number two is you first get convinced to yourself before you convince anyone else.
Okay.
Also, Mataji, it said that faith begins when logic ends.
Yeah, okay, so nice. Okay. Mataji prasadam, just invite that child. You know, some of my students from my hospital, the residents, they want to come to eat Indian food. So why not? Come to my house, and I'm going to cook food. They are asking food, but I'm going to give them prasadam. So there's going to be some beginning. I'm sitting in Gitanagari. People today, so many local people came. Why they came? Because we advertised that you can come for 4 hours for cow cuddling. We have cows in Gitanagari. You can come cuddle the cows. So people came for that. We didn't show them temple. We didn't show them philosophy. We didn't force them anything. We just showed them, here are the cows. They are animals. They have feelings. Go cuddle with them. And then we gave them prasadam. Okay?
Okay.
When we teach someone something, we have to come down to their level. Their level.
Okay.
Mataji, I would like to say something. Mataji, I had a similar problem when this message was forwarded about online free class, 18 days Gita class. My daughter started attending, Mataji. In those 18 days, I saw drastic changes from discipline to devotion. Then I thought, what is this class all about? Why so many changes in her? So when I started attending that, I asked her what it is. She couldn't explain. I mean, she would say, but I wouldn't understand something like. Then she told me, if you want, you attend the class, you'll know it. And when she started attending the class, then she became the admin those days when Prabhuji started initially. We got this message in Corona time, pandemic time. So I saw the huge changes in her. I think it is through her I got into Krishna classes, Mataji. So I mean,
And
it's
then
like,
you came following her.
yes, Mataji. I was attending your Bhagavad Gita classes, Mataji, earlier during
So
pandemic.
and then how did you come? Because for you to attend my
I
class,
think
you
your
went.
classes were so interesting. I didn't want to miss. That's why the other day I asked you, when you explain, we understand, but we are not able to deliver it like you. So this Bhagavatam class makes so much impact. It's like more on working on ourselves. So when I say this to my family, what happened in the class, they have many doubts. So if there is a recorded session or a link of this class, I can forward it to all my family members.
Yes, ma'am.
Mataji,
Supposing
that
if
we
we
are-
miss also, like we can hear, because we
No, no.
we like your way, the way you present. It's very, very nice.
Yes,
The
But
way
thank
you
you so much
teach.
for appreciation, and I feel encouraged to continue to do the service. But as far as recording and all, the live and the personal interaction. Maybe I'm old school. Yes, I also listen to Prabhu's class because I miss his Bhagavatam classes frequently. But I know Prabhu personally. No, he's my Siksha Guru. Prabhu, so Namanishta Prabhu, so because I know him, so I can listen to his classes and I can relate, okay, this is this. But if you just forward a third person's class, it may be maybe boring. Yes? Yes,
Mataji, I
do
would
you
like
think
to
so?
say something here,
Yes,
Mataji.
Mataji. Yes.
Yeah.
I would like
So
to add
personal
something here.
association or live, just say like right now we are, that has more impact.
Yeah.
To bring
That
them to a
is
live
best.
devotee.
Mataji was
Mataji.
following I was also attending your 3 o'clock Bhagavatam class. Then, I don't know, the classes stopped. I didn't know what classes you're taking. Somehow I got this link, Mataji, again. So I didn't want to give up your classes because morning 5:45, your class is energy to me. It is my time and it is you take me away from this world. So 5:45 class, I can't give up at any time, Mataji. So you made an impact in everyone's family, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
So thank you for the encouragement, but and thank you for your appreciation and the words of kindness. But yeah, I like the sentence that you said that 5:45 is your time. That's a very nice statement. But as far as Mataji getting attached to one devotee, it's fine. But try to work on your own, development of Krishna consciousness. Don't make me a role model. You can make me as an inspiration, that's fine, but don't make me a role model or a guru or whatever, because I am not a pure devotee. I have so many imperfections, but because you only see me for 40 minutes, you don't know what I'm doing the rest of 23 hours in a day. So don't make me a role model. But inspiration is okay. Okay, we can take inspiration from everybody around us.
Like every word you say, it really inspires, Mataji. You made so many transformed our life, taking to Krishna.
The transformation is
listening to
happening from
Krishna.
you. There's some words of encouragement because actually we don't even know each other, honestly, right? We just hear each other. Anyway,
Mataji.
thank you.
I'll tell you something. I'm really sorry to hold you. I told Krishna I will not keep alarm, but I want to attend Bhagavatam class. I told Krishna. So if you want me to attend class, you wake me up. So till now I have no alarm, Mataji. He wakes me up on time.
Yes, Mataji. Sometimes I also keep alarms, but before alarm, I will get up.
That's so interesting. I
Yes,
have to
Mataji.
put alarm. Thank you.
Mataji, honestly, I want to tell. I know I will feel myself, but sometimes I don't know. Sometimes before, like I used to feel there's no God, like that. That's why I asked you, ma'am. Even he also says said like that. That's why I want to correct myself. That's why I wanted to ask you this question.
I think one of my friends has a rule in her life, in her house every day, that in the evening she, her husband and her son come together and read one verse of Bhagavad Gita. She was telling me they're finishing 18th chapter this month. So just one verse of Bhagavad Gita together. Okay, you can implement some rule like this. Like in my house, the rule is that we do evening aarti together. In the morning, we all have different hours of going out of the house, but evening aarti, we all come together and we do that aarti together. So you have to have some sort of a regulation in your house to nurture this Krishna consciousness in each other in a very positive manner. Okay, and you have to decide that.
Mataji, I would like to say something here. Maybe if they attend the online class, it's very difficult for parents to convince, to say anything to children. But once if they start attending the online class, Bhagavad Gita 18 days, I think that's a way to get to God.
Definitely impactful. That I have no doubt about it. We have very nice teachers by the Master Srila Prabhupada. The preaching is going very nicely. I have no doubt about that. But force will not work. Okay, thank you for the insights. Ayushi Mataji, you have a question?
Yes, Mataji, I have a question. Mataji, you were telling a line lecture regarding to regain the piety. Lecture to regain the piety when we have giving curse to someone or doing some kind of cursing
You
activity.
mean that why did Narad Muni go to ashram, Narayan ashram?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, you hear that Radha Govind Maharaj, right? I told you. I have said many times, Radha Govind Maharaj, hear his classes. He gives references. Which devotee has commented on this particular thing, which devotee has commented on this. So I have heard in his class.
Mataji, can it be shared? Because I find difficult to find the particular thing.
Radha Govind Maharaj, I think I have shared it in the past, Radha Govind Maharaj lectures.
Yes, Mataji, you shared it, but this particular one, I don't know whether I will be able to find it or not.
Mataji, you don't try to get spoon-fed. We are all adults here. I'm going to give you the reference. I will put it in the chat. You can hear. I think this is lecture number. This is the lecture on October 26th, 2012. But hear it and see where you find it. But I think it's October 26th.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
I will put it in the chat. My screen is...
I got Mataji. Got from the screen.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Here is the chat. Okay, I can put it in the chat for everyone that you can get this. Okay. Okay, this is the verse you see in 18th chapter, 4th canto, 18th chapter, verse number 15. Srila Prabhupada was writing. Soma is a kind of beverage made in the heavenly planets from the moon to the kingdom of demigods. Demigods would not touch any kind of liquor. Soma is not an ordinary intoxicating beverage. Demigods, that means Nalakuber and Manigriva are not really demigods. That's where my doubt came from. Okay, if there is no other question, reflection, realization, then we will meet tomorrow. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you.